Hey guys, I'm Chris Buck and a very warm welcome to Friday Fretworks. This week on the move, in case you couldn't tell, for what's probably going to be a slightly unorthodox episode actually. It's 6:30pm, give or take, on Saturday the 15th of July 2023 if you're watching us on Dave Plus One. And I just had a phone call from a good mate of mine, Els Bailey, incredible singer-songwriter if you're not already aware, asking me if I could dig her out of a little bit of a hole. She's playing a festival tomorrow in Kew Gardens in London, Kew the Music Festival, supporting Jools Holland nonetheless. It's quite a big deal, probably 7, 8, 9,000 people maybe. The issue being that a guitar player is unable to make the show. He's just been hospitalised actually. So Joe, if you're watching this, hope you're on the mend, mate. But a little bit closer to home, that now means I'm going to have to learn a 30-minute set list for tomorrow, about this time tomorrow actually. I think we're actually due on stage. The other issue being that I've got a fairly busy evening this evening, so I'm not going to get a chance to look at these tracks until I get home, probably 10, 11 o'clock. And then, needless to say, there is absolutely zero chance of a rehearsal. The show is tomorrow. The band are kind of spread to the four corners of the country, so it's really not feasible to get together, probably before Soundcheck, if I'm honest. And that's assuming that we get anything approaching a Soundcheck, which isn't always a given in these situations. So I thought it'd be a journey worth taking you on, and kind of how it unfolds, and hopefully it all goes okay. The caveat being that I'm not really a sideman. It's not something I've ever kind of really dabbled in. It's my ability to kind of retain bulk information when it comes to learning an entire set list. I'm not really sure how I'm going to handle that. Obviously, Carter Black is the only band that I'm in, and if they're not tracks that I'm kind of have written myself, it's tracks that I've been involved in the writing process, so they're very much ingrained in me. So learning a 6-song set list that I've never heard before is going to be slightly seat your pants. So yeah, we're going to have to see how we get on. Got 24 hours until the show, probably another 5 or so hours until I actually look at these tracks. So it's going to be a hair-raising one, but I thought it'd be cool to kind of take you on the journey. Let's see how we get on. Let's crack on.
Oh, this one's a spare.
So it's a slightly unorthodox setup today because this caught me on the hop. That's bloody inconvenient, isn't it? One for the plane spotters amongst you. Yeah, slightly unorthodox setup because it caught me on the hop. So we've got my Vibrolux 2x10, and as a backup then we've got my Pro Reverb. Not running continuously, both of them, just that as a bit of a backup, to be honest, because it freaks me out doing a show of this size with just one amp. So we've got two mics on one of the 10-inch speakers, and there, guitar-wise, we've got Custom Squire and my Panucci Gold Top. Pedal boards, all the usual Schmidt array of pedals in underneath. And that is that. We've got my cheat sheets. It's like bloody amateur hour, isn't it? So, Kew Gardens. Let's be having it.
Introducing Chris Buck here on the guitar. So, our guitarist is currently in hospital, and I've never played any of these songs without him. And Chris, you've stepped up, you learned the set yesterday. And when I say yesterday, I mean 2 a.m. this morning. And has learned the whole set. So Chris Buck, he's in a band called Cardinal Black. Go check them out. You legend, thank you, mate. It's all I can think of, and I
Past that. Bit steeply past to say the least, but just about got through it. A couple of clangers, I think, but I don't think anything anyone would particularly have noticed from any of that. I have to review the footage though before I say that. Anyway, do you enjoy Jools Holland? So there we are, Monday morning, night after the night before, back on the move, and having had a chance to kind of review the footage and kind of assess how happy I was with it. I think for the most part I'm pretty pleased with how it went. There were a few clangers, there were a few moments I'd rather forget, but I think for the most part, given the circumstances and given the time frame that I had to learn the tracks, I'm pretty pleased with it. There was one kind of glaringly obvious moment where I ended up playing in the wrong key, albeit momentarily. Chose not to include that in the edits, no doubt. But apart from that, I'm pretty pleased with how it went. And I think, again, given the circumstances, it kind of went as well as could be expected. And I think if I was to try and impart any advice on anyone faced with a similar scenario, and then really it's not my place to be imparting any advice in that respect. I don't do this anywhere near frequently or well enough, quite frankly. But if I was to try and offer any sage words, it would be to get yourself into the song as much as anything. Obviously learn your parts, or at least an approximation of the parts in this case. It's not my kind of bag, or did I have the time to be learning parts note for note. It was very much just getting a feel of them. But familiarising myself with the song I thought was infinitely more important than actually the parts themselves. Arguably I would have done a more accurate job if I'd kind of closely followed the cheat sheets on the front of the stage, but I was actually surprised by how little I consulted those during the course of the show. You know, it was very much a case of I listened to the tracks as much as humanly possible, you know, on repeat all the way to London, near enough. I'm sure my kind of social skills were suitably lacking as such, but you know, I kind of just listened to the songs continuously in the time frame that I had, and trying to be present and actually enjoy the music. You know, I'm lucky in that they're very well written songs, and structurally, etc., they make perfect sense, which gave me that kind of freedom, I guess. Just focus on the music and try and be centered and present in it, and enjoy playing the tracks as opposed to what sections come in next and having to consult the cheat sheets too often. But yeah, it was a thoroughly enjoyable experience. Like I said, seat your pants, slightly kind of hair raising in a couple of moments, but for the most part, you know, not going to make a habit of it, but I did very much enjoy it. So I thoroughly advocate kind of throwing yourself out your comfort zone every now and then. Maybe not in front of 9,000 people though. As ever, Chris Buck, thank you very much for watching. This is Friday Fretworks. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon if you haven't already, all that kind of good stuff, and I shall see you next week for probably a considerably less mobile episode of Friday Fretworks. Cheers guys, take care, we'll see you soon.